We can make money like this? God, I hope so.
Nobodies, Jacob and Noel, we're friggin' nobodies. Welcome to our show, we're friggin' nobodies. We don't know much, we're friggin' nobodies. We're old and out of touch.
It doesn't matter. You're going first.
Good day.
How's it going?
Friggin' Nobodies here. He's Noel. I'm Jacob.
He's Jacob.
The regular format here, for those who don't know, is we each read a little write-up on whatever the topic is, and then we talk about it. And the topic this week...
Oh, you're telling people what we're doing now?
I figured I may as well explain it a little bit.
All right.
By the way, if it says Friggin' Nobodies in the front, it's us talking. And if it doesn't, it's some AI trailer that people will hate and unsubscribe from us for watching. So
Yeah. We put a lot of work into getting the funds to get people to make those for us.
those trailers are actually hard to make. Even if they hurt us, we make them anyways.
Good Lord. Is that 8 font?
It's 9.
Cheapers.
The only way I could squeeze it on one page.
That's cheating, man. We're only supposed to use 12 font on one page.
I'm not going to use a font so small I can't read it.
Well, that's hardly a limitation.
So, do you want to go first then?
No, you go first.
Okay.
I'll have
Oh, yeah.
a-
This
I'll have a
week's
little map
episode
while you
is
read
on
that one.
OnlyFans. We decided we'd talk about OnlyFans.
A topic we know a lot about.
Yeah, none of us have. I don't even know how to find it, but I'm sure it's not hard. But I wrote about it. I wrote a whole page. You ready? Here we go. OnlyFans, first phrase, is a British subscription-based social media platform that allows content creators to monetize their work directly through fan subscriptions. The medium these content creators work in could be anything: fitness, writing, music, whatever. But as we all know, it's porn. It's adult content.
Breaking news. Men will pay money to see boobies, more at 11.
Which doesn't mean deep or intellectual. It just means dirty, dirty sex stuff. Now, when I was younger, porn was a lot different. We had no internet, of course, so if we were lucky, we'd find a beat-up old magazine in the woods or behind a school. Maybe a friend's parent had a VHS collection of some dirty tapes, and we'd skip a day of school and sit around, a bunch of young boys, and
Maybe you weren't even friends with that kid. It's just, his
watch a
parents had
porno
porn tapes.
together.
Yeah.
Watch a porno together. Porn wasn't easily accessible. You had to hunt for it. It wasn't just laid out in front of you. Now, well, it's much easier, of course, thanks to the internet. Anyone with a phone can be watching porn in under a minute if they really want, and usually for free. No more shuffling through the VHS rental store hoping no one sees you sneaking behind the curtain to the adult section, or that the person behind the desk doesn't rat you out. Now you can do it all from the comfort of your home, and no one is the wiser.
Sometimes even your sister gets her head caught in the dryer,
These
things happen.
I'm not sure what that's a reference to, but but OnlyFans goes a step further than that. It's not just easier to access as a consumer, it's easier as a creator. If you want to run a porn empire from your own bedroom, you absolutely can. You don't need to move to a seedy neighborhood in LA and get mixed up with the wrong folk. They're right there on your computer 24/7. Nice. Every neighborhood is that seedy section of LA now. Now, I'm not a fan of commodifying intimacy. I believe porn is bad for you, or at least not good. Bad for the consumer, bad for the performer. Not a healthy way to make money. I am not a fan of the notion that sex work is work. Don't love that idea. I think it's very different from traditional work. Using my body to dig a ditch or move boxes is not quite the same thing as using my body to please someone sexually. Our psyche is involved on a deeper level than it is with manual labor. No one is accidentally having children after digging a ditch. No one is killing another ditch digger in a jealous rage. No landlord should be asking his tenant for sexual favors.
People kill ditch diggers all the time.
But I'm fine with mowing the lawn for a few bucks off the rent. That's not so bad. Anyways, I think it's bad for everyone involved, including the larger culture. Now, I don't want it outlawed. Refer to our episode on shame if you haven't seen it.
Oh, that comes up in mine too.
I just think it should be shunned. That's all. It kind of is already. While still leaving room for a redemption path out of the industry. I do believe in that too. Now, we already do this to some degree. We shun porn actors heavily, but not consumers in nearly the same way. A porn actress might have a hard time getting a job outside of the industry and leaving her past behind her, but a consumer gets to remain invisible. They don't have to carry the shame with them. Now, this is not that strange. Of course, someone viewing a murder isn't as culpable as the actual murderer. It's not a totally fair comparison.
I don't think it is either.
I remember people watching Faces of Death, and if any of the poor schmucks in that despicable series of tapes were actually murdered, the killer would go to jail for much longer than anyone who saw the tape. In fact, viewing the tape wouldn't necessarily be illegal in the same way. Still, I'll save some shame for the viewer as well, even if that viewer is me. Now, I suspect most of us aren't proud of any porn habit we might have. We clean our browsers, we watch it alone. Our behavior tells us something. This isn't something we want to advertise.
Wait, would it be more shameful to watch it with people? Hey, come on over. Guess what I'm doing tonight?
Yeah,
That'd
it
be horrible.
probably would, Billy. That shame is also earned. In any case, these are societal issues and far beyond my pay grade, so I'm not sure how to navigate those. Maybe we can talk about it.
Oh, yeah, we'll sort it out. Don't worry.
But I will tell you one thing that makes me sad about all of this: the temptation. How many young women who might have had the secret to carbon capture technology or fusion locked away in their brains
I might have cured cancer.
are instead tempted not by science or some field that might actually move our species forward, but by OnlyFans,
I made $5 million last year.
a seemingly easy way to make money from the comfort of your home. How much potential is wasted in the sex trade?
Well, why not both?
Fix the environment? I spend 6 hours in the gym.
Sure, yeah, if you have time and you can do both. Instead of going to school, earning, I just don't think that happens very much.
No, I don't think it does.
Instead of going to school and earning a degree and trying to contribute, we're tempted to just show our bodies on social media and make money that way. Why bother learning anything at all? Now, you might say, good Lord, man, I've seen some of these OnlyFans girls on podcasts, and let me tell you, none of them were going to make any scientific breakthroughs. Yeah, possibly that's true. But in a social structure that idolizes profit, that treats sex and beauty as commodities, who knows what some of these people might have become in a different system? And we'll never find out, because it's not going away.
No, it's not.
That's my write-up. We forgot our fancy schmancy light.
Oh, yeah, turn it on.
See if it
We
makes
look
a
better
difference.
now.
Our news should be about us. CKIL News in Badger Falls. We don't cover world news. We give you news from your world.
We got aura readings and seances down here at Badger Falls Arena.
Whether it's Mayor George's hotel, or Little Noah on Halloween, or Slim Jimmy driving the big rig. Because in Badger Falls, we cover it all.
There is no evidence of a half man and half beaver.
CKIL News in Badger Falls. If it only matters here, we're there.
Oh, that's good.
Did it change anything?
Yeah, the camera struggled for a minute to keep up.
Wow. It's a
Right.
new camera, too, so there's lots of exciting things happening in Friggin Nobodies world.
We are just going up in the world. So I called mine a dignified pervert skulks into a strip club.
That's a much more creative
Oh,
title
yeah,
than I
it's
have.
great. So
Mine just says OnlyFans.
I was there, I remember.
I'll have at her.
So this is a strange topic because I don't know enough of the details. So I'm going to offend someone. And I don't want to know any more details because the whole business is offensive to me. So I'm just going to power ahead. And if I offend anyone, y'all can come forward and enlighten me or him. I won't squeal. From the passing knowledge I have of OnlyFans, on the viewer side of the screen, it seems to be strippers in the security and privacy of your own home and all the clothing and decorum that such a thing might entail. You know, nobody's wearing anything, just by yourself doing your... You don't have to see or think about the other viewers. There are no bouncers or scary weirdo perverts watching you out of the corner of their eye to see if you're watching them out of the corner of your eye. You can really dig into your own desires.
Well, the internet there could be nowadays.
Well, that would be a different form of OnlyFans. It's a weirdo panopticon of OnlyFans. Yeah. Keep Foucault out of my porn, man. I'm sure all those things still exist, but you don't have to look at them directly. It brings solace and the illusion of cleanliness to something a little gross, like soaking your Yanket blanket in hand sanitizer. Hell, I'm damn sure that doesn't even address the symptoms of the issue. On the other side of the camera, and here's where the real speculation comes in, I imagine it would give you some sense of security knowing that you don't have to deal with the actual physical viewers and all the desperate, sweaty calculus that goes on in the heads of those folk when they get around pretty people that they're not allowed to touch. However, I did sit through a long documentary on Andrew Tate, so I know the sweaty...
Where the guy?
Yeah, so I know the sweaty and desperate nerdy tech crowd is doing their best to bully their way into the realm of peddling flesh to the masses. Less pimps, more simps, but I can't imagine that being any better. Jacob has a hard moral...
I saw my name was mentioned in this, and I wasn't keen to find out in what context.
It was just Jacob has a hard moral stance on the subject, and I'm not going to go that route. That's
All I
it.
saw was Jacob has a hard...
Yeah. Glad you can't read it through here. I don't think it's really good for society, and the tack that I'm running with is...
See, of course you don't.
It's another layer of isolation or separation that we don't need. My adulthood predates the internet, so if I wanted to see real live bare naked ladies, you know what I mean, then I'd have to drag my embarrassed self to the ballet or the peelers or the strippers and pick a spot to sit that wasn't in the creepy, it wasn't in the front row, because I'm not a shameless, interactive.
Yeah, you have to actually get out there. You can't just be lying around like Brian Wilson did.
Yeah.
When you want to see those bare naked ladies.
That's right. Yeah, so I didn't want to go to the front row because I'm not a shameless and interactive pervert. And I don't want to sit in the back because I'm not a creepy, aloof pervert or the biker that runs the things. I had to pick the middle ground of the reserved and dignified pervert, concerned with his social standing. And that's the rub. The OnlyFans strips away the connection to the rest of the world you inhabit and the community you reside in. Younger Noel was embarrassed not only to sit in the place, but also by the fact that there were real live women on stage, and the whole affair hinged on the notion that he was supposed to divorce himself of the thought that they could be anything other than a backdrop for his night out. And he couldn't do it. If the hockey game was on, he felt weird watching it because it seemed disrespectful to the dancers. The computer screen puts a layer of abstraction on that experience, like it does
Nothing
for
like
everything.
feeling shame for not looking at a stripper.
Well, that was the thing. They're doing their job, trying to get my attention.
I know.
And I'm watching the hockey game.
It's an art form in
It's
some
an
way.
insulting thing
I
to
suppose,
do.
you know.
It's not even that. It's they're getting paid for the attention. I'm going, I'd rather watch a hockey game that I could have watched at home. The voyeuristic urge to see good-looking people without their clothes on is hopefully never going away. I think it's a pretty essential to the good of the species. But there really should be some frank discussions on how to manage this feat, so we don't allow the sweaty and desperate folk to push titillation farther away from where we can have a reasonable and reality-based conversation. Quick side note. Before I go, I've read a few times that the younger generation is vocal and critical of what they call non-essential nudity in modern film. Whether it's sex scenes or shower perverts, that sort of thing.
Non-essential nudity.
Yeah, where it doesn't move the plot.
I know,
They
I
just
know.
jam it in.
But in a movie like Hot Dog or Porky's,
well,
you could say it's non-essential,
I'm
but
getting there.
it is designed to titillate, so it is essential.
I'm getting there.
Okay,
man.
sorry. Go ahead.
I think it's because they're a generation where getting access to nude people is easy and private. The majority of the movies in the 80s were bent on finding ways to have bare boobies show up, no matter how inane or problematic. And it was weird to sit and watch it with your friends and family, as it is now. But the only option we had, or one of the few.
There was still boobies.
Yeah, so 40 years, and the root problems still exist. We've just covered it in one more layer of abstraction. I hate to say it, but we should bring back the dignified pervert so we can shame them into discussing the problem in the open.
Nice.
Because
That's your write-up, eh? Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one thing that goes a step towards that, I've kind of believed this for a while, kind of like a shadow. If you're not willing to talk about it, that's a sign that you probably should, that you have some work to do.
Yes.
It's like if you can't see, like, okay, yeah, I do sometimes watch that. I have in the past anyways. I'm not proud of it. Yeah, it's probably not great for me. If you can't just admit those things, there's no real room for it. If you're just going to be staunch about it, like sometimes, and it's perfectly fine and healthy, and you just close yourself down from any other possibility. Now, maybe there's circumstances where it's fine and healthy. Somebody can't get it any other way, or they have some...
Well, the thing that stuck with me
Like
Was-
it may have some uses, but by and large, it divides people and it's not good for them.
It's super awkward. My daughter and I have been watching movies together, and I put on Super Bad
Yeah, all the penis drawing and stuff.
because I remembered the penis drawings at the end.
And a
They're
ton
kind
of
funny.
sex jokes all
But-
over the place.
But
And
about 20 minutes in, we were both sitting there going, yeah, this is absolutely something that you and I should not be watching together.
Yeah.
Was a thought that happened in our heads at the same time.
yeah.
But it was raunchy and it was meant to gross out and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't had a sit-down talk with my daughter about any of this stuff. I brought this up with her and talked about it. She basically gave her the whole general thing, and she said, yeah, that makes sense. It wasn't awkward at all. But it was just broad strokes.
I've had brief talks with my eldest son about it, but not enough, probably. I've been a little, whatever the term is. I haven't done that the way I should have. I'll just say that straight up.
Yeah.
I'm searching for a term that's eluding me at the moment.
So when I was growing up, it was very easy for me to look at the things that my parents did and go, I never want to be doing that, or that. It's embarrassing. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But what I never got was a decent talk for them on, hey, well, a couple things. One, you should invest your money early and soon. That's how you make all the big money.
Yeah.
Never got that talk. And I didn't get the, we should talk about how men and women interact or how people interact sexually.
Yeah, I've done some of that.
Not with my parents, you didn't.
No,
You better not have.
I don't know why I would.
I'm saying that they didn't have it with
So,
me.
Mrs. Alford, I got a few things to talk about with you over here. I hope you're prepared for this.
Because there's no way I am.
Probably didn't expect your son's teenage friend to bring these things up to you, but here it goes.
In the modern world, great plot. Back then, it would have been, it probably wouldn't have been a terrible plot.
I don't know what that would have been. So the conversations, and with lots of other people too, not just your kids, but with other people as well. A lot of this stuff just sort of gets brushed under the rug, and people don't want to discuss it at all. And it's very hard to navigate what impact porn has on you as an observer and on the creator if you can't even talk openly about the fact that it exists and people ingest this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's some steps to be made there in the first place. Now, clearly, socially, we feel shame about it. There was a guy on the bus in Brazil. We were all working in Brazil together, and he had a phone, and he would sit at the back of the bus by himself watching porn. He wasn't masturbating or nothing. At least didn't look like you'd see both his hands. He seemed fine. Just real loud, like totally cranked.
Put your hands where I can see them.
And all the guys who kept, I pretended that I didn't know any better. They'd say, that guy's watching porn. I was like, no, it's a horror movie. Oh, no, listen to that woman moaning. She's screaming. She's really afraid. For 5 minutes, Jacob?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for 5 minutes. Totally. It's a
the
horror
monster
movie.
hit her really hard in the belly, and she's groaning about it.
I just refused to admit it. But that's what he was doing. And then there was worse ones, too. There was a guy who came up to me one day. He said, hey, man, check this out. And then he shows me a video on his phone. He says, look at this. And it's a woman performing fellatio on him. And I guess he filmed it like this.
That's
right.
great. Yeah.
And then showed me the next day at work. So I had this translator, this female translator that I was working with when I was there. And I went up to her and I said, hey, Paula, is it common for people to film each other in coitus and then show their friends? In Brazil, we don't do that in Canada, so I don't understand. She said, no, that's not at all.
No,
common.
creeps are pretty universally recognized. You matter the language.
And I said, what about dudes just openly watching porn on a bus? Is that normal? And she's like, no, none of these things are normal, Jacob.
So when the internet first came out, you kind of never knew.
I didn't know if it was cultural or not. I had to check.
Yeah, you weren't really ever sure what you're going to get. So I've seen some weird shit. And one of the things I remember is that they had a site that compiled these things. And there was a dude who made his money packing his mouth with chewing tobacco. Like 6, 7 cans, just cheeks out, couldn't close his mouth.
Made his money from it?
He just
Like
had
people would pay him
he
to
had
see it?
dozens of videos of him just packing his mouth, wide-eyed, staring at the camera, and all of the drool
I
coming
see.
out.
So he made his money doing videos of this constantly.
I don't know if he made money, but there was dozens of these. It was definitely
tried.
It was definitely a fetish for something, and it's burned into my head forever.
Yeah, I don't think fetishes are natural. I think that's...
Well, I think that goes with the name.
It may. What does fetish mean?
I thought it was a little doll that you made of something in, I think, Voodoo.
So then how does that apply to like sexuality over seeing naked feet or something? Like
but
that?
I'm pretty sure that people are, you know what my fetish is? Straight dudes, straight girls, missionary sex. That's
Trying to have a baby.
That's what I
my
really get off,
fetish.
man.
No, I
love
know.
that. No,
it's something outside of that because
it could be a deviancy or something outside. We don't know because we're friggin' nobodies.
yeah, we're not really supposed to know. So as far as
we probably should know.
as far as the sex thing goes, though, and like the commodification of intimacy, I do think even if you're an atheist, like as a theist, I think that is when a couple becomes godlike.
I have a problem.
They get to experience this creating of another human. It is a sacred moment. No, not to say I haven't used it frivolously.
In my early days,
I have.
In my early days, I wouldn't say it's a commodification of intimacy because there doesn't seem to be a lot of that in the porn industry. That would be a fetish in the porn industry. Hey, it's a loving couple that get together. That's what rom-coms are, man. That's a fetishizing.
Okay, but even the fact that you're saying that means that you're seeing the sexual act as some other thing.
Well, that's what porn is all about. Yeah.
Yeah, well, but okay. So my point is that the sexual part of it is it's still part of like the rom-com thing. The rom-com thing is part of this. A lot of women, they'll watch a rom-com and they'll be a little randier after the rom-com than they were before.
I had that problem with
it sort of gets them in the mood because it's all leading that direction, right?
I had that problem with Broken Rain.
Super gross.
Did you want to?
You haven't seen Super Broken Rain? You should. It's kind of like Twilight, but with centaurs.
Yeah, except somehow dumber. Which is impressive considering the source material.
Well, we made it. So we're at 20 minutes already. I don't know what we solved necessarily.
Oh, good Lord. It's such an ugly topic. It's huge, too.
It's a huge topic. Yeah, like this is incredibly complicated. We're very weird. We have a ton of hang-ups about sex. Not us.
Well, no, us.
Specifically. All of us.
Yeah.
All of us have these. And so it's a difficult conversation no matter what. People have their opinions. They get pretty entrenched. I think
they have parades about some of them.
They have parades about some of them. And I mean...
I think they have parades about most of them. I think that's what most of those we won the war parades are about.
Maybe they were. Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? At any rate...
listen to Nasty Man from Fishbone.
Yeah.
Heterosexual celebration. That's how it starts off.
Yeah. At any rate, we probably solved it. And if you ever want to hear more about sex, its effect on society, culture, and on a personal level, please feel free to come by. We're a couple of old white guys, so we have all the answers. And
yes,
we're
we
probably
have
right.
a ton of topics written down on things that we might talk about. But if there's something you want to see us talk about, leave it in the comments. Like more on OnlyFans. Do a deep dive. We're not going to do a deep dive.
Don't call us more on OnlyFans.
Oh, nice.
Don't do that.
So if there's something in specific that you want, go ahead, leave it in the comments. And normally we were going to give you a list, but we're not presenting a list. So please don't make it too crazy.
Yeah. Also, we should do this at the beginning of the video.
Yeah, at the beginning.
Because nobody ever watches at the end.
It's a point. It was 3% made it to the end of the last video from what I saw.
It's good to be part of the 3%.
Which I think is 9 people.
Gosh, I know I'm one of them.
I might have been 3.
That's sobering.
All right. Well, anyways, cheers. Stay away from OnlyFans as customer and as entrepreneur is my advice. You have counter
Unless you can
advice?
make more money. Although, if you are interested in OnlyFans, we could use some money.
If you could pay off my mortgage, I support you.
Yeah. All right.
I'll even get an account. Okay.
Yeah. Take care, eh? And
Adios.
see you later, Noel.